Jeremy Roadruck. And if you have caught him on um, the podcast that I had him on, he deals with relationships and he is amazing and he's funny. He makes me laugh. So I'm bringing him on. Hey, Jeremy, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being a part of this Christmas in July 24-hour live stream-a-thon.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas. Happy almost last day of July.
There we go. There we go. So, you have I know that we talked about, kind of doing interview and questions and this and that, but you have a message that I know could be so extremely impactful that I really want to just give you your time to share. And if there's time for conversation after, then I'll pop back on. But you really have a lot of value, and I don't want to steal some of that time. So, are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate
Okay.
it. Absolutely.
I'm going to put you on. Yes.
All right. So, well, first I want to say thank you to Elena. And, this event, this experience, this is brilliant. I haven't seen anything like this before. This 24 hours, a ton of speakers, a ton of value being added. So definitely she's somebody you guys need to know. You need to follow what she's doing. I hope people coming from my channel and my network and my community, they're getting a chance to be exposed to this and getting the experience. This is a really fantastic opportunity. And I want to encourage you, those of you that are here today, right, or tonight, or this evening, or however long you're going to be with us. I want to encourage you, when you're going through hell, keep going, right? It's Winston Churchill. If you stop, you're stuck. And so many people, they do a thing, they get a result, and they stop. They don't get the result they wanted. They call that failure. And they quit moving. They quit going forward. They're stuck at a success that they don't want. Gina, thank you. Appreciate it. But they're stuck at a success they don't want. And so really, we've got to prime our brains. We've got to prime our hearts and our minds. Focus on the things we want, right? For those of you that don't know, I've got decades upon decades of experience with helping people in a variety of circumstances, ages 3 to 94. And in all of that, I've broken it down. Really, there's only two things that really matter. Number one is the story that we tell ourselves. We represent that with the knife hand. And the other side is the fist, is the actions that we take, right? So it's the story and it's the game. And you put those two together because your story drives the games you play. It drives your behavior and it drives you into your action. The action creates the result, creates the impact, creates the whatever it is. And if you don't like it, cool, that's feedback. You're still alive, right? You're still in the game? Okay, cool. You got feedback. Now you know exactly what not to do again the exact same way. So change it. Do something different. That's how you begin to get different results. And events like this, opportunities like this, they give us a chance to upgrade our stories, upgrade our frames of reference, upgrade our experiences. And my favorite thing is getting in and messing with people's paradigms, messing with their stories, because all stories are true, but only some of them actually happened, right? Our brain can process consciously 20 to 137 bits of data a second. Our unconscious mind is spinning somewhere between 2 million and 11 million bits of data every single second. That means we are distorting, we are deleting, and we are generalizing all of those inputs to make it manageable between our unconscious mind and our conscious mind. That means there's literally millions of things going on that you are deleting every single second. And I can prove it to you. Right now, you're listening to me, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, as long as it's safe to do so. What's going on inside your right big toe? And for pretty much all of you, it's like, oh, hey, dink, your big toe just showed up and you're like aware of the sensation, the feeling, the pressure, it's touching the floor. I'm wearing socks. I've got shoes. There's some sort of sensual experience going on. There's some sort of flow of information that was happening before I asked about your right big toe, but it wasn't important. So it was being deleted. But let me ask you, while you're thinking about your right big toe, what's going on with your left big toe? And now you have a left big toe also, and you lost the right big toe until I said right big toe. And now it's coming back, and now you can kind of feel both toes. So what are you focusing on? What story are you telling yourself? What belief system, what BS are you reinforcing? What are you deleting? What are you distorting? What are you generalizing? Life is. All men are. All women are. All business is. The government is. All people are. Those generalizations, they become, in lots of ways, the life that we live, the love that we feel. When we feel taken for granted, when we feel just, I'm part of the firmament, I'm part of the foundation, I'm part of the wall, no one pays attention to me. If that's what we feel, that's going to become our reality. That's going to become our life. But we have a choice in that story. We have a choice because it's a form of hypnosis. We have a realization, a moment of awareness. It's a key. You can use that to open a new door. You can make new choices, go in new directions. You can't change a thing if you're not aware of a thing. That's why I'm a big proponent of podcasts, YouTube channels, workshops. If you can't feel, you won't. Sorry, Trish, I just saw that comment come through and it didn't post it up to my screen yet. Right? But you can't change what you're not aware of. And sometimes you don't realize, you take things for granted because that's your normal. Right? Oh, I always do X, Y, Z. That's just me. It's no big deal. But for someone else, that point of view, that perspective, that experience could be transformative. It could totally elevate and expand their life. That's why it's important we share our stories, we share our learnings, we share our impact, not from a I'm better than you, come sup from the wisdom, but from a, yeah, I messed up too. Filed bankruptcy, lived in a tent, lived in my car. Like I've had some bad stuff happen, right? I've blown a lung with no health insurance. That's fun. So absolutely, how we feel is important to pay attention. We can either move forward or allow the feeling to paralyze us. Yeah, absolutely, Ivy. That's exactly right. There's actually one of the models I use. There's actually 7 reactions to any moment of impact, right? Fight or flight, freeze, fatigue, fawn, which is like people pleasing. So you can posture, you can submit. There's all these different experiences that we can have from any moment of impact. Once we become aware of it, that's our freedom. That's our choice now to decide, oh, I'm going to move in a new direction. I'm going to make a shift. And sometimes our best gets us to where we are. And that's when we reach out for help. That's when we go, you know what? My best got me here, but I'm not done. I want to get to this higher level. I have some compelling future I want to get to. I need support. I need encouragement. I need other strategies. Who can I talk to? Who can I read from? Podcasts, YouTube, Google, there's all these wonderful things. There's a lot of coaches. There's a lot of people. You could just hire them and they will help you move forward further, faster. And it's cheaper and easier than trial and error. Like part of my work, I do a lot with men, dads. We talk about divorce-proofing your marriage. We talk about how to raise amazing kids. Even if you didn't have an amazing childhood, that's okay. Now you know what not to do. Problem is, under pressure, we often do the things we've experienced, not the things we know. Have you ever had a moment, situation, something going on, and what you're doing is not how you want to show up? But in your brain, you're like, shut up, stop. But your mouth is spewing out this stuff and you're like channeling your parents without realizing it. Or somebody hurt you and you're spewing out what that hurt was onto someone else. That happens sometimes. It just means we haven't processed our own stuff yet. We haven't fully integrated it and resolved it. We haven't released it. Again, once you become aware, now you have a choice. Life is full contact. It doesn't pull its punches. In life, we get the test, and then we get the lesson, provided we survive the test. That's why it's important you have people like Elena, like all of our speakers tonight and today, having them in your network. And the beautiful thing with social media, if you choose, social media can become a way to connect with other sources of light. See, the way we fight the darkness, it's not by fighting the darkness. You don't fight it with the same level of energy, the same level of thinking, the same level of emotion that created the situation. You have to elevate. You have to get to that higher perspective A lighted candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. When you inspire, when you motivate, when you encourage, when you share the darkness you've been through, it can often spark somebody else to raise their standard, to raise their experience. It gives them opportunities to see there are other choices available. It's not, this is who I am, right? I have a book behind me. It's called How the Irish Race Saved Civilization. It's this great book, talks about the Dark Ages and the monks and all the knowledge and everything that they wrote down. But for some people, I'm Irish. That's my background. So I got to get drunk and get in fights. That's what I do because I'm Irish. It's like, but you have a choice. You have a decision that you can make. Ivy says, awareness is key. Many people are moving about blindly without direction, without their sails up. I was like that for years. Yeah, me too. And then Jackie says, Jeremy, your words are amazing and impactful. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I got like fire and stars and light. Yeah. One of the cool things about the darkness sometimes is that's when you can see people's inner light. Right? There's an old saying in Chinese martial arts community, which is part of my major foundation, is a 1500-year tradition. But we talk about the idea that the plum flower, if you've seen the plum flower in Chinese culture, Japanese culture uses it as well. The plum flower is a very powerful metaphor because when it's time to bloom, it's time to bloom. Doesn't matter what the weather is. It could be snowing and the plum flower is like, nope, my time, I gotta go. Poof. And there you get in the middle of a snowbank, you'll have this tree and you'll have these brilliant red flowers against this white background. See, when life is going your way, it's easy to be happy. It's easy to be generous. It's easy to live a good life when everything is easy. But when life is hard, when it's dark, when there's storms, when there's threats, and you can still shine, you can still be your authentic self, that's a powerful achievement. That's a powerful accomplishment. So sometimes we need those dark moments to create contrast, to really appreciate who we are, where we are. Right? I've blown a lung twice. I've been hospitalized 11 days the first time, 6 the second time. It was awesome. Do not recommend it. By the way, if you're ever on a massive course of pain medication like morphine and Vicodin, your colon dries up and you don't have a movement. And I was eating 3 meals a day and nobody noticed for 8 days. I was like, well, I feel a little bit of pressure in here. I'm a little tense. And they're like, oh, when was your last movement? And I was like, like a week, a little bit more. So yeah, always ask for Calumet, just an FYI. Even in the darkest rooms, your light shines bright if you allow it to grow. Raul Martin, yeah, exactly right, 100%. Right? People are like stained glass windows. When the light's on the outside, they don't sparkle. But when it's dark outside, the lights on the inside, they do. So I blew a lung twice. It's really easy for me to have a good attitude when I wake up in the morning and there's no tubes in my side. There's no machines that go peeing. I'm not on oxygen. I don't have nurses checking on me every 2 hours. So like every day I wake up, I'm in my bed with my wife right next to me. I'm already starting my day really nice because I know what it's like to be in a hospital. I know what it's like to be on just redonkulous amounts of meds. I'm not there. Sweet.
I just wanted to share that stained glass window quote. Mm-hmm. That's one of my, so that's all.
Yeah. I've actually, give me a second because I have a document every day. I go find a new quote to add to. So I'll actually cite my source because I like to give credit as a creator, somebody who does stuff on different channels. I like getting credit, but I also like to give credit. So give me 1 second. Stained glass. Yeah, there it is. People are like stained glass windows. They sparkle and shine when the sun's out, but when the darkness sets in, the true beauty is revealed only if there is light within. And that is from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And it's hyphenated. Get back to here. Cool. So life is impact. Life is full contact. Life is going to come at you. Cool. What are you going to do with it? What meaning are you going to create? Because meaning is subjective. It's all BS. It's belief systems. It's made up. Nothing has meaning other than the meaning we give it. right? When I work with kids and we talk about bullying and being bully proof and not letting somebody else's toxicity get inside you, just because they're small, sad, and cold inside does not mean you have to join them or accept that energy. You either get a loving response or a cry for help. Whatever's inside comes out. So if it's not a loving response, you already know some information about their internal reality, their internal world. Somebody hurt them. They have a wound. They have some sort of pain they have not resolved yet. And that's okay. We're all here to learn and grow. But now you can begin to have empathy, sympathy, pity. It's really hard to be insulted or to feel insulted when you're pitying someone for the pain that they're in and you realize they're just weaponizing their stuff at you. It's not you. You're just a convenient target. So they either give you a loving response or a cry for help. Someone's yelling at you. Is that because they're mad at you? Is that because they don't like you? Is that because they're scared? Is that because they don't feel heard? Is that because they're hard of hearing? Is that because they're used to speaking at a certain volume and a certain speed, and that's just who and what they are? When you can create more meaning for any given moment, you have more peace, you have more choice, you have more relaxation, because you don't have to go stimulus response and it's just this. You can do stimulus pause. Okay. And then have a response. We can choose, we can decide. We can realize that other person is in a source of pain and what they're throwing at us is just where they're at and what they need. Maybe if we can't help them, at least we don't add to their drama. We don't add to their pain and misery. We don't feed into that story and add momentum. And to be fair, that's not always easy because we have our own stuff. And sometimes, we don't feel heard, we don't feel seen. So we're the one being just way heavy, way hard on this kind of stuff. That happens sometimes. We're all human beings having this human experience. Daniela, nice to see you. So it's up to us. What meaning? And again, if you're challenged with that, if you can only come up with one interpretation for something, awesome. Expand your network. Reach out to the people that you know. Reach out to the people that know you. Ask for support. Ask for input. Ask for feedback. Say, hey, I got something that's weighing on me. And I'm not really sure how I should interpret it. I feel like I have to take it this direction. I'm curious, could I explain it to you? And then you just give me your feedback, give me your insight, just kind of where you're at and how you would process it. I'd love to get your take on things. That can be a really simple thing. You don't have to take their advice, but at least you get that extra perspective. If that's challenging for you, maybe that's an opportunity to grow. And with our time together tonight, I would like to offer a basic model to start kind of loosening up some of this stuff. So I have a quick little quiz for you. It's not super complicated, pretty easy. Let me just ask you, what is 2 plus 2? If you don't mind, 2 plus 2, just in your head, 2 plus 2 is, okay, 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is, okay, cool. What is 2 times 2? Right, 2 times 2 is, good. And then what is 8 divided by 2? 8 divided by 2 is, so which one's the right way to get to the result? Because 2 plus 2 is 4, and 5 minus 1 is 4, and 2 times 2 is 4, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Which one's the right way? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Pluses, minuses, timeses, divides. Which one's the right, true, original path? Because whatever answer you have, we can split it apart, like addition, 2 plus 2. Well, you could do 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, be sequential. We could do a bell curve, 1 plus 2 plus 1. We could add in decimals. We could add in irrational numbers. We could add in negative numbers. There's all kinds of ways we can play this game. But the key is, it's like 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter. In the summer, do the summer things. In the fall, do the fall things. In the winter, do the winter things. In the spring, do the spring things. And you'll be successful. Some people like to add stuff together and create. Some people like to take things away as their form of creation. Some people amplify. They multiply. You give them something and they'll turn it into something greater. Some people divide. You give them something and they'll cut through to the key salient points. This is the firmament upon which we will build a new reality, a new business, a new opportunity. Those are just different frames of reference. Those are different models. They're not better or worse or right or wrong. They're just a way to organize your thoughts, your feelings, your strategies, your emotions. But some people gravitate to their life experience and know everything only ever gets cut away. People abandon you. People leave you. You can only rely on yourself. That tends to be more in the subtraction and division school. We got to like create stuff and have people come together and spend social time. It tends to be more the additive and multiplicative school. Not right or wrong. Different models. The more you can strategize, the more you can create different pathways forward, the easier it is to adapt to a changing circumstance or a changing situation. The big fancy term is the principle of requisite variety. Whoever's more flexible will control the system. Just the more pathways you have, the more strategies you have. If all you have is a hammer, the whole world looks like a nail. Hammers are beautiful. They're fantastic for driving nails. They're really not that great for opening pickle jars, because then you get glass everywhere and pickle juice everywhere. So when you realize you're defaulting, you're hammering under stress, all you know how to do is one thing. You might want to build your team. You might want to expand your knowledge and your skill sets. You might want to make more friends, because one is too small a number to create greatness, to borrow from Stephen Covey. And with that, Elena, how you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to share, like, the more pathways, the more strategies, but you break it down so simple. And we didn't know each other a year ago. And so when you say just make more friends, make more, it's proof that by stepping out and creating those connections and building those relationships, the impact that you can have is far more than you could ever do on your own. And as we get older, I think we're like more afraid to try to make friends.
Yeah. Everywhere we go, my daughter's 8. We go to a pool party. She's asking the kids there, hey, do you play Roblox? What's your username? She has 200 friends. She can't add anybody else. But she's like, hey, do you play Roblox? What's your username? Like she knows. She's networking. She's got a social intelligence I never had at 8 years old. Totally her mom's impact, not mine. But she's like, let's make friends. Let's go play. Hey, mom, get her number. Hey, dad, get her number. Okay, babe, I can't ask a kid for their phone number. I will go ask their mom and we will make arrangements.
Well, we see Ivy. Let's see what Ivy had to say. Love the way you said that about the importance of having more pathways as opposed to tools. Yes, Ivy, yes. And that's why I wrote that down. More pathways lead to more strategies.
Yeah, because it's the way our brain works. Our brain really is a neural network. And so we're constantly creating these patterns and chains. They're like lightning bolts going off literally in our brain. But then if it catches, it'll link into a behavioral chain, and then it will get reinforced. And now it becomes like the roots of a tree, which if you look at the roots of a tree, you look at a lightning bolt, similar pathways and how everything networks out. But now we're grooving this and ingraining this into our brain. Right? The idea that we can make 21 days to start a new habit. What if you took 21 days of energy and put it into 5 minutes? You could literally wire your nervous system and just blow out old pathways and replace them with new ones. Ivy says, your daughter sounds cute. Mine is 10 and is all about Roblox. Well, we should connect because my daughter is always looking for people to play with. I love this so much. I'm a very visual person. So these knives are fantastic. Gina, that's awesome. That's one of the challenges, right? There's actually 4 ways we learn primarily, but auditory, see it, visual, hear it, conceptual, think it, and then kinesthetic, feel it. And we all have kind of like a primary learning channel, and that becomes a default bias. And so we get into conflict sometimes with people just for different pathways. And we create all these big meetings, right? I had a family I worked with, mom, dad, daughter, auditory. So when there's a problem, we're going to talk about it. But their 5-year-old son was visual kinesthetic. And so when they would sit down and talk about problems, his sister's 8, he's 5, he's melting in his chair because he can't create the mental pictures of the words they're using. So he feels like nobody cares about him. He feels like he's not important because he's a feeler first. And so if we don't intervene in that at 5, guess which direction his life is going to go as he gets older? It's not going to be more big happy. And he'll gravitate to people who he feels like are paying attention to him, or he feels important to them, even if they're manipulative, even if they're users, even if they're toxic. But I feel like they care about me. But he will delete the word feel, because that's just his primary communication system. So he'll just say they care about me, not I feel like they care about me. And so, yeah, it's really important. I play a lot. Part of my training as a hypnotherapist, I play a lot with different metaphors. And when I do one-on-one with clients, I can tweak, because I see how you communicate. I'll just tweak my methodology for you so that it lights your nervous system up.
I love that.
I like
That
to
is
win.
so important. Like that is gosh, you know, to have the gift of having that information at a young age, it's off the charts.
Yeah. I wish I had somebody like me in my life when I was her age. And she's a lot like me when I was that age, but she's way more in the light than I ever was. So it's really kind of cool to watch her. And we're not trying to armor her in the sense of like thick skin and she's just going to run roughshod over everyone. So she's got a very gentle and loving heart. At the same time, boundaries, understanding somebody else is not warm, big, happy, and she doesn't have to accept. They're offering her the chance to feel small, sad, cold. She doesn't have to accept it. Right. And that doesn't make her a bad person to say, well, I understand you're upset, but I'm not going to jump in the hole with you. Right.
Yeah. And we need to like to have learned that early on. You know, some of us jumped again. and as we're drowning, we're still trying to help other people out. I mean, it's a for real thing that we, you know, have gone through. How does one determine or become aware of which they're learning, like pattern, how they learn it, or how they learn it?
So think about when you argue with somebody, right? That's usually the easiest way to figure people out, is just provoke a fight with them, because then you'll reveal what's inside the fastest. That's the line in the Matrix. I think it was Matrix 2. Seraphim is fighting Neo, and he's like, "Oh, the best. You know, if I want to find out about you, I fight you." It's like, yeah, because what's inside comes out. The body can't lie. So listen for when someone argues, and the way that they make their point and the sorts of things they use to justify, rationalize, or support their argument will often be very revealing of their learning strategy, right? It'll also kind of reveal the 5 love languages. It's like, yeah, you tell me you love me all the time, but you never show me. Well, you tell me auditory all the time, but you never show me, which could be visual or kinesthetic, which could also be acts of service or quality time, more than words of affirmation. Or it's, yeah, you're doing all this stuff, but God, like I can't even get like any praise from you. You never say I did a good job. Oh, I'm doing too much acts of service. They're not getting enough words of affirmation. I need to tell them they're doing a really nice job, because it's like, but I'm showing you you're a priority, but that's your channel. That might not be theirs. And so a lot of times you get in a conflict with someone, they're telling you how they need to be lit up in their nervous system. If you're paying attention, again, we go back to that awareness, right? Because it's like, oh crap, you're telling me really important stuff. It's like when I talk to guys and they're like, oh, my relationship is in trouble and da-da-da. I'm like, well, she's still mad at you and telling you about it. Yes, there's hope. She still cares enough that you know how she feels, and that she wants you to know how she's hurting. Dude, you have a chance to still connect to her.
Yeah.
When a woman is like done
because
with
the moment
you,
she was silent, forget it.
well, not even silent, because if she's silent in front of you, that's still, I want you to know I'm not happy with you, because I'm going to show you that I'm not talking to you, because I'm going to parade around in front of you, and I'm going to close this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to get these chores. Like, even that is still a form of communication. It's when she's completely indifferent to your existence. And you can't make her mad, and you can't make her happy, and there's nothing. And she's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. Sure. Yeah, the moment I'm done, Mandy Robinson, 100%. It's like, it's so weird, because like when I listen to these guys talk about their woman, I'm like, okay, describe what's going on. Tell me about your day. Da, da, da. I'm like, yeah, dude, she's not done with you yet. They're like, no, she said she's moving out and she's this and this. I'm like, no, not yet. She's still posturing, and she's still testing, and she's still asking you to come claim her heart. Now, how do you do it without violating her boundaries? because then that makes you not safe if you violate her boundaries. So like it's a delicate dance.
I love, and I mean, we could dig into this. How do people get a hold of you, or how, how can people reach you? Because the work that you do is truly so important. It's so important for our relationships. It's so important for our families. It's just so important for the units of generations to come to work now. How can people reach you?
Easiest way is right here on Facebook, right? Just go to facebook.com/Jeremy R. Kung Fu Guy, or just search my name, Jeremy Roadruck, because I'm the only me in the internet. I got a bunch of stuff out on youtube.com/@Jeremy Roadruck, as well as on TikTok, as well as it's Kung Fu Guy Jeremy, I think, on Instagram, but I'm not really active there. It's just linked. I just put together, today I was doing some stuff, and I just put together, I've got like 40 podcasts, I think, that I've been on. They're all now on YouTube that are all like linked into a playlist. But yeah, and I do 15-minute brainstorm sessions just as a service to see where you're at, what's going on, and then maybe I can help. Maybe I'm the right person. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I have a friend I can connect you with and be like, actually, I know someone. So like if I had ladies who were wanting to work on their confidence, I happen to know someone I could connect them to that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, right. Oh, this has been a joy. And yeah, Gina even says, yes, we need more time. So yeah, definitely, I'll have her connect and, be able to reach out. But thank you so much for sharing your time with us all this evening and being a second annual Christmas in July Circle of Hope, so that we can just share just nuggets of goodness and light that candle, just keep spreading the light for real. So
yeah, what I would say is suffering is self-generated and optional. Pain is part of life because life is impact. But the suffering piece, we can unplug that. And if you don't know how, let's talk and let's just pull that apart, because it's like, no, you don't need to do that. There's actually, I have structures and like there's ways to define all that kind of stuff. Trish, Mandy, Ivy, thank you. Appreciate the love, ladies. Here to serve. Thank you, Jeremy. Take care and make it a fantastic day, and I'll keep tuning in.
Thank you.
Probably not 2 a.m. though.
Bye-bye. Oh my goodness, he's amazing. Jeremy was actually on an episode of my Tipsy Lips Spill the Truth podcast, where he really got into talking about the family dynamics. So you could go back to YouTube and watch that replay.